everybody's socks off. Here we go. So, way back when, there was a project started by James Winchester, right? And he was creating a beautiful project that he thought would look amazing, right? But he was told that he had cancer, that he was going to die soon. So, he told Christian Solomon, his best friend, to take care of his project and make sure that the sons after him have completed the project. And so he told him, your sons, they have to complete the project, do a part of it, and it should be done in about 8 generations. And so once a son of the Winchester family turns 20, they have to make a beautiful watch. And the watch is going to be handcrafted by them, whether they like it or not. And they're going to give it to the receiver, which is that generation's son of Christian Solomon. And so, 8 generations later, which is when the story takes place, there's Andrew Winchester. And this was the last of the sons. This was 8 generations after the original. And so, this generation of the Winchester family would complete the project. However, Andrew Winchester does not want to do the project, and so his father just doesn't. He hates him for it, and he tells his son, "You're old enough now. You need to start the project. You need to complete it, just like your great grandfather would have wanted you to." And so Andrew says, "There's not a chance that I'm doing it. I have college. I have a life. I'm going to get engaged to my future wife. There's no way I'm going to make a watch." And so he doesn't do it. And years go by, and Andrew Winchester, he has a new wife, Lindsley, and they have 2 beautiful children, Roy and Ashley Winchester. And Andrew decided that after he had kids, after he got married, he was going to finish the project because his father shunned him. And so he calls his father 15 years later, and he says, "Dad, I'm going to do the project." And his dad's just so happy and joyous. And so he crafts this watch, and it takes him 5 years to do it. It was the most beautiful watch that he had ever seen in his entire life, right? And he finally calls his dad, and he says, "Dad, I finished the watch." And his dad says, "That's great. Here, I'll send you an address." And he texts him an address. And he says, "There's a receiver that is going to take the watch, and he's going to put it all together in the great project that your great-grandfather would have wanted you to make." And so Andrew mails over the watch to the location, and he just continues with his life, because why not? And so 3 days later, Andrew's wife calls him. And she's saying, she starts yelling at him over the phone, and Andrew's all confused. And she tells him, "You forgot about Ashley's performance, his daughter." And Andrew's just devastated. He's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot about that." And he regrets it deeply. Soon enough, Ashley comes home, and he tells his daughter, "Hey, I'm really sorry that I didn't come to your theater performance, but I'll make it up to you this weekend. I'll take you to this magical forest that my dad used to take me to when I was younger. And it's really far away. It's about a 2-hour drive, but it'll be totally worth it." And Ashley looks at her father, Andrew, and she says, "Okay, I'll forgive you." And the weekend comes, and Andrew's all packed up. He's ready to take his daughter to the place. But his dad comes bursting into their home, and he says, "Andrew, you need to come with me right now. We're going to go and drive to the location that the receivers was talking about." And Andrew's just like, "Dad, I have to go to this. I was promising my daughter that I would take her to this place." And at that moment, Andrew had to make the decision between his father and his daughter. And although that he already let down his daughter once, he decided that he would have to do it again because he had just put so much time into this watch that he crafted for this project that his great-grandfather would have wanted him to make. And so he gets in the car with his dad, and they drive to this place. It's about a 3-hour drive, and it's in the middle of nowhere. Finally, they get to it. It's like this weird temple-like thing. It's a really creepy place. And they go in, and the receiver's there. And this receiver is supposed to give them the finished product. And the receiver says, hey, I've got the finished product. I got the finished project. You guys are going to be the lucky ones to see it. And the father and the son are all really, really hyped up. And finally, they get to a really dark room, and the receiver says, here, I give you this key, and it'll open the chest that the completed project is in. And Andrew is given the honor to open the box. He goes over to the box, takes the key, and puts it in the keyhole, but it's locked, and it just, the key's jammed. And he tries a bunch of times, and it doesn't work. And he says, this key doesn't work. And the receiver's like, that's tough. We're gonna have to try something else. And then Andrew's like, there's no possible way that you can have this happen. We have to get this box open. I just ruined an entire weekend with my family and spent 5 years of my life building this watch. And then Andrew gets like an object, a rock in the temple, and he tries breaking open the chest, but the receiver stops and just knocks him down and says, you can't do that. The priceless project is inside that box, and if you open it, then or break it, then it's literally priceless. It's been handed down for 8 generations. There's no way we can do that. And Andrew's like, well, what other choice do we have? And the receiver says, we're just gonna go, and we're gonna have to go to the nearest store that has a lockpick set and go buy one. And so they go into the car with the receiver and drive about 2 hours to the nearest Walmart, which is where they have the lockpicking set. None of them know how to lockpick, of course. And so they buy the lockpick from Walmart, and then they drive 3 hours back to the place, or 2 hours. And finally, Andrew sits down and he's like, all right, let's get this box open. And so he tries once, and it doesn't work. He has no idea how to lockpick. He's on his phone, he has YouTube open, and so he's trying, right? 3 hours later, he finally gets it open. And, I mean, this was the moment they were all waiting for. Andrew, although he was pushing the project aside because he had his own life, he was kind of really anxious and nervous to see what's in the box, because this is literally 8 generations worth of work, beautifully crafted into one object. And the receiver says, here, I'll open the box and show it to you guys. He opens the box, and he slowly pulls out a belt. And on the belt, there are a bunch of watches just sewn into it. And the belt is beautiful. It is the most amazing leather that the sun had ever seen. And as he looked like throughout the belt, the farther you go down on the belt, that's another generation gone past. And the son looks at his dad, and his dad's crying, and Andrew's like, wow, this is truly amazing. But then his dad goes from crying to yelling, and he says, no! And Andrew's like, what's wrong, Dad? What happened? And his dad's like, Andrew, don't you see it? This belt, it's a cruel joke that your grandfather had set up for 8 generations, and Andrew's all like really confused, like what's the cruel joke? And his dad explains, and Andrew is also devastated. He starts crying, and well, you guys probably want to know what it is, so I'll tell you. The project that the Winchester family had been making for 8 generations was a belt, and it had watches on it, which made it quite literally a waste of time.
There's something about your hair, there's something about your stare. With one look you make me feel like a whole new man. I want you to be my girl, you rock my world. I feel like I'm becoming a whole new man. You, it's me, I come. jumping to the beat of my heart. Keep jumping to the beat of my heart. I want you to know that you're the star of my show. I hold you closer and never let go. When I think about you, all I'm doing is only you. Each day like you more and more and more and more. You make me feel right. And still I want you to keep shining to the beat of my heart. You are the reason why I feel like I want you to keep shining to the beat of my heart. Keep shining to the beat of my heart. Keep shining to the beat of my heart. Na 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 na. Keep shining to the beat of my heart.
It's not the place I grew up, where kids have to worry if their school's about to get shot up. But it's not funny. But I'll look away. Maybe everything will change another day. Freedom of speech, where did that go? They were too busy choking the air of his lungs to hear him say, "Let me go." It's hard being black. It's something they'll never know. For a black mother to wonder if her child's coming home. I'm not an American, I'm black. Please understand the difference. Not viewed as one, but actually the latter. Is that because black lives don't matter? Is this the place I grew up? We speak of freedom, and we preach equality. Our founding fathers thought it was funny. All men are made equal. You know what I mean. Fast forward about 1,000 years. The weight of their tears is too much to bear. Over 40, please stay with me. Don't look away. That's not why he broadcasted 49. No one did anything, so now we all have to watch the outcome. There, they were praying to God. Next second, they're begging for their life. Now their families have to deal with the strife. Don't worry, the shooters are still alive. Yes, there were two. This is the place I grew up in too. Quick, let's pray for change. But can anyone bring a dollar? There's no conclusion, it's just a sad message to say. Now I'm on a plane, I'm trying to get away. The country I live in is in a stable state of dismay. Now there's a rumble at my feet. So there's a baby crying a couple seats. It's just turbulence, it'll all be okay. And now my body, along with 100 others, is on the news the very next day. Isn't it funny? Isn't it insane? I guarantee their families don't feel the same way. This actually happened a couple times, really. Didn't you hear? We were the last of full flights because our president had investments, because they were American flights. Just one more plane and more American lives down the drain. To touch them a little more, I feel like a prophet because I don't see anyone trying to stop it. The only way to convey my message is through figment fantasies, like America with equality. If we can change the world with a word, I wonder what would happen if I spit a phrase. I care too much to let the world stay the same way. If we have to be the change and not the problem. This is my talent, and yes, it's a written word, but no wonder I have the power to change the world.
Let's go. Here we go.
Which kind of music is playing? He can't hear it.